Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a solemn occasion, probably the most serious obligation we have in this committee, on this committee. The last time a cabinet member was impeached was during the administration of Ulysses S. Grant many years ago. In my experience, though, as a Deputy Attorney General for Criminal Justice, state of Texas, as a federal prosecutor charged with counterterrorism and national security, and as chairman of this very committee, I've never seen this border more out of control. Mayorkas took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. In my judgment, he has violated that oath. Federal law provides the government detain and remove aliens convicted of crimes and those who are issued removal orders by immigration courts. This is the very issue that my state took up on appeal to the Supreme Court. He has violated this. On day one, he rescinded Remain in Mexico Migrant Protection Protocol, direct cause and effect, opening the floodgates. I marked that provision up on my committee, Foreign Affairs. It's now part of H.R. 2. But he took that power away from his law enforcement officers. And I have to quote, I don't quote former Texas Congresswoman Barbara Jordan very often, but she said, quote, "For the system to be credible, people actually have to be deported at the end of the process." And let's look at the numbers. They speak for themselves. 8 million encounters under this administration, 2.3 aliens in the interior of the United States with no legal status, enough to fill up 13 states. Just last month, we had over 300,000 trying to get into the United States. Over 300 on the terror watch list have gotten into the United States. When I chaired this committee, that was a big red flag, and the FBI director said so when he testified as well. Over 200,000 Americans have died from fentanyl. I personally went to a funeral last Saturday. One of my children's friends died from Xanax laced with fentanyl. 200,000 Americans, that's more than triple the number of Americans who died in the Vietnam War, to put that into perspective. The secretary has emboldened a criminal enterprise and the biggest human trafficking scheme in my lifetime. He terminated MPP. Chief Ortiz noted that had a direct cause and effect. And when Mayorkas went down to the border, they turned their backs on him because, quote, "Sir, you have turned your back on us." My state has spent almost $14 billion just this cycle. We've allocated $9.6 billion to Operation Lone Star. My governor bussed illegals to sanctuary cities and states around the country to showcase what we are experiencing, and you are as well in your states, every single day. And the damage was clear. The Supreme Court did note the damage, but said that this had to be resolved outside the courts. In other words, they said that Congress had to address this either through appropriations, oversight, and in Sam Alito's decision, yes, through impeachment. This is a legal justification for these proceedings. The founders believed impeachable offenses included corrupt administration, neglect of duty, and official misconduct. At the Constitutional Convention, they said this. Alexander Hamilton asserted abuse or violation of public trust was impeachable. Justice Story, Supreme Court, public office is a public trust, and a violation of public trust is sufficient. I find this to be a profound violation of public trust. Alexander Hamilton stated in Federalist Paper 65, "The subjects of impeachment are a nature which may be denounced political, as they relate chiefly to injuries done immediately to society itself." My God, what about the injuries done to society that we've seen? To our three illustrious attorneys general, please tell me the injuries done to your societies back home, and do you think this secretary merits and that impeachment is warranted in this case?
Thank you, Representative. I think the most powerful statistic I can give you from my state is our confirmed state crime lab fentanyl overdose death rate. Since 2019, Montana's confirmed fentanyl overdose deaths have increased 1,700%. Congressman. I think that is the absolute strongest indicator. We know where these drugs are coming from. It's not a political statement of mine, it's not an opinion of mine to say that 100% of that fentanyl came from the Mexican drug cartels. We know that to be true. We get that from our federal partners in the DEA, we get that from all of our drug task forces, and all the law enforcement agencies that are under my purview.
Just real quickly, General Drummond and Bailey, just very quickly.
We have witnessed a mass collusion between Chinese nationals coming through the southern border in concert with Mexican cartels.
1,500 fentanyl deaths, 43 children dead from accidental poisoning from exposure to fentanyl, $114 million borne by taxpayers in increased healthcare costs.
Thank you. I yield back.